There we go. And if you've got another phone with you, Martyn, if you stick it on aeroplane mode, it'll make this run quicker, just as a heads up.
Okay, I can do that.
Bluetooth disconnected.
You look like you're in a salon or something.
It's my room's like a DJ room, but I've got Harry Potter wallpaper, because the room I'm renting is basically, it's a kid's room, but
can
you see the Harry Potter paper? Yeah. But if I turn it around, you've got all the speakers and that there, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Got my mic as well.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah, so it sounds a bit clearer when I, do the song.
Yeah, I look forward to this. So
yeah,
if we play out with you, so I'll say thank you and goodbye and that before you play your song, and then literally just play out, and Jay
end it on.
He'll stop it at I think we're going live.
And you're live.
And good morning, Kindasound listeners, to the Reality Bite Show with me, your host, Wendy Smith, and my guest this morning, Martyn Vanezi. And I hope I've said that.
Yo. Yeah, you said it quite right. I am half Greek. If you want to say it like this, Vanezi, Martyn Vanezi.
Vanezi.
That sounds it. That's better.
You
actually said it like the school teachers back in school used to say it to me all the time. Used to say it like Vanezi. I don't like it like Vanezi.
I actually had an Irish guy on here the other day, and we just had such a laugh trying to say his surname. It's Vinnie Combe, and I was like Vinnie Combe, Vinnie. I was going. It was quite funny. So, morning, listeners. I just want to say a quick hello to Mum, Sean, and Tracy, and Mark, and Dave, and everybody who normally tunes in the morning. We have quite a nice little morning group now, Martyn, that's always sort of tuning in. So, my guest today, Martyn's pretty much what I call a serial Facebook offender. And what I mean by that, he's been in and out of Facebook jail more times than you can shake a hairy stick.
Yes,
so
that is correct.
Obviously, he's got a lot of content that's always being censored, and we do love a bit of censoring, don't we? You've had your account deleted 6 times, and now you're totally banned, aren't you? So
I've had my account deleted 6 times. This is my 7th account. I haven't got a SIM card in this mobile. Yeah, that might be the why they've not like disabled my account or anything. I don't know why. But this account seems to last. But the problem is I'm getting banned left, right and centre. I mean, I've been banned in 70 days. I've been banned for the whole of 60 days. So like that's 2 bans in 70 days. It's not good, but
in our community, we're all getting like gold stars for this now, isn't it?
Yes.
Badge of honour. How many? I've got a strike on my YouTube channel. Yay. So basically, Martyn, how I came across Martyn, because I do love people that are just sharing information and good information as well, stuff that's been researched, and actually standing up for, people in general and the community. And Martyn's been a former protester, and he's now moved out of that realm because, like most of us, we've realised that these things, they don't really work because all the politicians are at home in their offices, at home in their lovely houses when you're down there protesting.
All it does really is just plant the seed for people to actually realise what's going on a little bit, and just let it spread naturally. Do you know what I mean? And then once we move on, there'll be always new people coming through and probably doing the same thing as we did. So we're just moving into, trying to plan things ahead now, as in getting the community together, creating a tribe to move forward with. That, I think that's one of the main key things at the minute,
Yeah, I mean, what I like about you, and sort of the story, and from what I know about you already, very similar mindset to myself, because I've been working with people, and I keep saying to them, it's about your mindset now. We know what's happened, we know what's gone on, and like you said,
discipline.
There's going to be a role of people coming behind, but it's what do you now want to generate out of this, instead of keep throwing your toys at your pram. People, get your head in the right space. What do we want to create now? Whatever that is in your community, and you're doing some community work on
exactly. Yeah, we are doing community work. We are meeting every other week. We've got people collecting wood, myself as well. I've got a shed half full of wood at the minute, just collecting wood, good wood to burn. Just everybody's just coming up with like good ideas between themselves, and we're just putting it all together, and it will just flourish itself when you come together. I mean, there's quite a few of us in the Telford community, so big up the Telford tribe. Got to give you that one. For sure.
It's one of those things coming back to, I think people have got so far away from, without going into sort of like dates and details and doing a history lesson for people, and our whole history is knackered, as you know, because it's all been done. But, you know, getting back to the community feel, regulating yourselves, you know, everybody having a bit of responsibility in that environment.
It's good for your system as well, you know, when you're with a lot of like-minded people. I remember going to protests before and I loved every single moment, come back and I just felt different for a few days. And it's just that adrenaline, you know, just the vibe you get off each other. So just meeting together, even if you're just going for a coffee each week to start with, just getting to know everybody, that's just a start. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what everybody needs to start doing. I have noticed in the movement there is quite a lot of divide between the people as well. Once people are awakened, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've noticed that as well.
There is, isn't there? Yeah, I find that curious as well. Just because obviously, if you're all on the same page, why should there be any division? But I've noticed division in general. To be honest, Martyn, I've never. My whole ethos is never to dispel someone else's belief system.
That's right.
Because if it's true to them, so if it's you think you need a jab to be safe, have one. Because if that's what you feel, then I have got no right to stand in front of you and say your decision is wrong.
Yeah,
it's just not.
You can only put your vision out and your consciousness out.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to listen, and you know, they laugh at you and say goodbye, it's their choice at the end of the day,
exactly.
You know?
It's not my place to push anything, whether it's, you know, what I believe people should do for a job, in their relationships or whatever. It's not mine. Just to stand in that space of like, but do the same for me.
Yes,
however, what I'm finding in community, not in community, but in general across the board,
in society,
society in general, is that there is a lot of division, as in healthy people are now being segregated and looked on as a problem. And it's like, hang on, guys, come on, rewind yourselves back.
I mean, I've even started to notice a few of my close friends that I used to speak to actually get jabbed, knowing fully about the agenda. It's like really weird it is. I know a fair few of them that know the agenda, and I've just recently found out that they've been jabbed. I'm like, wow, like how can someone know what's going on and still go and get the jab? And obviously it was through the job being pressured to have it, but still, you know, these people are trying to kill us and people are just like rolling up their arms and they know the agenda. That's just like, mind blows my head.
It's the process of, I mean, this is like the area that I work in mainly, really, is not indoctrination, but mind processing. So pre-programming, and, you know, everybody has really, the majority of people, we no longer go outside. You know, people go home, they turn the TV down on, they sit down in front of the TV, they get all their information off of the TV. They never use critical thinking. You know, the word critical thinking, if you're a critical thinker, you know, people think you're mental nowadays. It's like,
that's right.
No, if I'm going to buy a car, I'm not just going to like press buy on the internet.
Exactly.
I'm going to look at the car.
I'm going to go and review it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to review it. If I'm going to buy a jumper, I'm the same. I have to go and try clothes on. I have to go try shoes on. You know, it is exactly the same. I like to go and
people believe this vaccine is, they got nothing to worry about. They like, the people not know it's a vaccine, like, you know, it's ingredients put into your bloodstream. Do you know what I mean? It's like people just seem to think it's nothing. It's just a jab, you know. It's just crazy.
And it's not. And if you know, for me, it's just all it was a matter of, well, that's very interesting. Thank you for showing me that there's, you know, a respiratory whatever going about, and then making an informed choice around it. So all I did was I got on the internet, I went and had a look and thought, no, thanks, you're all right. I'll let my immune system deal with that one.
Exactly.
And that was it. But informed choice isn't something that people tend to do as much nowadays. So I want to go into your background before we start getting on that, because I know exactly where we're going to go with this conversation, which is good on a Sunday morning, bit of a wake up, shake up on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Your background, Martyn, obviously you said you're half Greek. Where'd you come from originally? What was like childhood like for you?
I was born in Shrewsbury, and then my family moved down to Tottenham in London. Yeah. We spent there, I was there till about 8, I think I was, and we moved back to Telford. Ever since then, I've stayed as a Telford boy. I'm 33 years old. I've got 3 children. I work 12-hour night shifts 4 nights a week. I've got quite a busy lifestyle because I'm a single dad as well. So I'm not always with my kids. So I have to try and fit my kids' time in there as well. You know, just I've been working all my life, to be honest with you. I've always worked. I've always paid into the system. I've always believed the system until COVID. You know, I'll be honest with you. Since COVID started, that's when I spiritually kind of awakened. and my whole life totally just switched. Everything switched. I used to be scared of what people thought of me. I used to worry about a lot of things, you know, worried about trying to be good and pay my bills and be a little good boy for society, shall I say. Since obviously COVID's come around, I'm totally the opposite now. I don't care what people think of me, my image. At the end of the day, I'm here for a reason, to spread information, spread what I know, see through the cracks, see through the lies, and just spread my truth. If
So
people
what
don't
was-
want to resonate with it, it's their problem. But a lot of people will resonate with it because it's happening, you know.
What was the catalyst for you then that made you question? Because like you say, the thing is with this is the thing about society. I was doing a job in a school the other day about like knife crime and gang culture and stuff, and all these kids, it's like this hypnotic trance they wander along in, and then before they know what's happened, they're in something that they don't know how to get out of. And I see that as society in general. We're indoctrinated through school. You're taught, you know, when a bell rings, sit down. When a bell rings, stand up. You all have to wear the same uniform. You know, someone tells you when you can eat, when you can go to the loo.
Because so many people are like programmed that way around us. It makes you automatically think you've got to be that way. And that's what it was like for me before COVID. When COVID hit and I started meeting like-minded people and speaking to other people and seeing and researching more and more into it, especially the spiritual side of things as well. You know, it's just changed my life completely. It's for good though, to be honest with you.
What was it that actually sort of, I hate the word woke you up, but so to speak, but it is waking up out of a
what happened is obviously COVID came along. First 2 weeks I did wear a mask and gloves to the shopping centre once. I come back from the shopping centre, I just remember just feeling awkward and just feeling like I need to question what's going on, because I shouldn't be this. It's like someone was telling me, don't be scared, like kind of thing. Anyway, so I think it was about a month later, my ex-girlfriend's dad died in his sleep. And they tried putting him down as COVID. And basically he was already dying. He already had like kidney issues. He was quite bad anyway. And they tried putting him down as COVID. And that's what got me mainly questioning everything, because I've seen so many other stories at that moment. I've seen so many other stories going around on social media about death, change of deaths, certificates, all sorts. And it just got me like going. And once I started going, I just got deeper and deeper into it. Like it was like a massive investigation for me kind of thing. And I'm still digging now every day. Do you know what I mean? To find fresh info, anything that comes out on the news, I'm always looking. Yeah, it's just started from there. And just, like I said, once you start seeing a lot of people think the same, it kind of tells you, you know, exactly where you need to be.
What is the balance up there? Because I remember I've grown up in an environment, in a pub environment, and my parents are both what I would call highly intelligent in their own right. So my mum, you know, maths, language, like just an amazing woman like that. She can just add anything up in her head, and very, very sensible level woman. And my dad, practical. He'll build you anything. You know, he knows history. You know, he loves practical knowledge, what I call practical knowledge about stuff. So both very grounded parents, and we grew up in a pub environment. And I can remember always being told things like, you know, I'd ask a question and then I'd get saying like, well, what do you think? So it was always that sort of environment. You were asked, well, what do you think?
Good.
You know, and believe this little saying, believe nothing of what you hear and only half of what you see. And we had all these little sayings. So if I came home and was tiddle-taddling about someone, we used to call it, and I'd go, oh, you know, I'm a bit upset because so-and-so said this and da-da-da. Mum or dad would say, well, did you hear them say it? And I'd be like, well, no, it came in. And they'd be like, well, that's just like Chinese whispers. Go and ask the person.
So you've been brought up basically questioning everything anyway. So that's helped you in many ways,
Yeah, which is why I think school was a bloody nightmare for me, because I'd question everything and then get
questioning everything. Yeah, they don't like that, do they?
No, they don't. So when this happened, it was like, well, this is interesting. You know, I'm walking about. I'm not being funny, but for me, this was my version of it. When I was walking about, I was thinking, well, if this is a pandemic, you know, that word to me is terror. So that to me was like zombie apocalypse, yeah. So I'm thinking, if I'm walking about and there's a pandemic, I'm going to be seeing people literally hitting the deck in the street. Now, and I can tell you now, if that was the case, I would have been wearing, you know, a biohazard suit when I was going out shopping.
Yeah, because you're seeing it with your own eyes. You're seeing it with your own eyes, aren't you?
But
I
saw nothing. I saw nothing. And so this was what, for me, why I've never got involved in it, and I won't, because until someone can show me the evidence, I'm not going to follow you off a cliff unless you show me the evidence.
Yeah. And it's easy to add up as well. You know, people got vaccinated about a year ago. Since the vaccinations have took place in my workplace anyway, people are dropping, like they're getting poorly a lot more than the first year without the vaccinations. We should have seen all this in the first year. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no one's picked up on that yet, Martyn.
No one's picked up on the common sense of why so many people ill now and they wasn't in the first 12 months of the pandemic. It's rocket science, you know.
Yeah.
But
again, it's again, we come back to the television, don't we? It's
right. And then people just think it's bad luck that they've got this problem here or whatever here. Do you know what I mean? It's just bad luck at the end of the day to them. When realistically, they've just been injected with something to make them bad.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people always say to me, you know, why would they want to do that? And I go, well, that's a very long story that I'd have to send you off to do.
That's the thing. It's just so big. Like the pyramid is so big. People don't know who's at the top. People are brainwashed to think the government controls everything.
No.
When in fact, they are just the little puppets that will just sit there and say, yes, man, yes, man, yes, man, and do everything they say.
And we get a new set of them every 4 years.
Yes, Boris is about to go. You know, it's all scripted. It's all played by the book. He was a perfect candidate to put us through the pandemic because the way he looks and how clumsy he is. Yeah. You know, he can take the piss out of us and still look like Boris kind of thing. Off he goes. Who's coming in? I don't know, but
me.
The same old shit.
me, Martyn. That's it.
Yeah, wicked. Woo.
Yeah, that's it. Campaign for me. So on that note, This Is War, Gorn and Tech 9. I've not heard this. Obviously,
yeah, this one's a good one.
Yeah, why do you like this song?
I just like the lyrics, and Tech 9 comes in at about, I think it's about a minute and a half into the track. And he says some good lyrics about what's going on in the world. And it's a good uplifting beat as well.
Is it cool? So Django, if you wouldn't mind, This Is War, please.
This is war. Pick your sides, know your stand.
Cool, you're off here, sorry.
That's okay. I was just wondering then where you'd gone.
I don't seem to have received this list, actually. So I had written it down, but I didn't have the right This Is War.
Yeah, We Say No by Nate, isn't it?
Okay, you sent me that one. I've got that.
They should be on...
It was an attachment in Martyn's email.
Yeah, they were. You sent them as...
But then the other ones would... See? And then who's the 1984 one?
Lucas Lyon. Lukas Lyon. Sounds a little Eminem-esque.
Yeah. It's a bit Eminem-esque.
Yeah, I used to love Eminem. That was in my angry days.
His lyrics and his songs says quite a lot about what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, I've not heard. He's got a new track out with
torture these enemies given deformities. What I brought them today orally.
I was like, this is what I like about having lots of
there's not a hint of remorse in me. Cold in my corpus, like only in war do I ever find normalcy. Like on the beaches in Normandy, live by the sword of my diamond 43.
Yeah. I love my music. I'm always listening to my music.
Yeah, same here. Pretty much what I live by there. The television rarely goes on what I call TV.
Yeah.
So every now and then I might go like, right, I feel like watching a film actually. So I'll purposefully choose a film, but it won't be on as like white noise in the background.
I like my films. I do like my films when I get the time to watch a film.
Yeah, I'm more of a music listener though. I've got a my sister bought me one of them lovely little Bose sound boxes.
Okay, yeah.
I can just pick it up and carry it around.
Yeah. They're quite loud as well, aren't they?
I'll tell you what, for what it is, it's only tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, got some proper bass in
Pumps.
it.
Mm.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy music.
Yeah, it keeps you going, doesn't it? It just lifts your vibe if you listen to it.
It does. So have you always been into it? Like, as in like...
always been into music, yes. Always been into music. Started with like hardcore music when I was like 14, 15, but that soon changed and slowed down, you know, to like hip hop, reggae, grime.
Right.
I do like my UK grime. A bit of hip hop as well, like, yeah.
I don't think
Reggae.
I've ever really listened to UK grime.
Well, my song that I've produced is UK grime, basically, so you'll get to hear that.
Oh, I'll get to hear that today then. That's cool.
Yes.
Like something new.
Yeah, man.
Good to have something new every day.
That's right.
So you've stopped protesting totally now?
I've stopped protesting completely. I've been asked to go and do a few, but it's just not in me to do it anymore. It's not that I don't believe in it. I mean, it can make an impact, but I just believe people have made their decision now, if you know what I mean. It's got to the
Sorry,
point where,
guys, we're going back live.
Okay, no, essentially.
Okay.
Kindasound Radio, the station for a global community.
And you're live.
And welcome back to Kindasound this morning on the Reality Bite Show with me, your host, Wendy Smith, and my guest, Martyn Vanezi.
No, you said it wrong again.
Oh.
Vanezi.
Yes. I've got to get more Italian in with
the
Greek.
Yeah, just bring Italian into your mind, maybe. Even though it's Greek, just say Italian if it helps you out.
Vanezi, right? I'm going to go Italian on you now. So
yeah, Italian on me. Italian stallion.
So Martyn, after you sort of like woke up, took the mask and the gloves off, and
yes,
what happened then over that period of year? Well, I take it you were working at the time.
Basically what happened is me and my girlfriend split up. That was a hard time, with everything going on as well at the time. Obviously I didn't want to leave my kids. Obviously that was a touching part of it. And I just kind of, I feel thinking back to it now, I had a spiritual awakening from what I felt.
Right.
And things just got deeper and deeper and deeper into it. I mean, I think we just need to hit the system where it hurts, to be honest with you now, instead of like protesting, standing outside buildings and stuff. Each and every single person like that's awake to this whole community in the community wise areas just need to stop paying into the system. Simple as that. I do believe that's one of the main things we need to do.
I'm pretty much with you on that tip as well. I know a lot of people, obviously you probably know Stacey, don't you? So so she's been going around the country helping people do that. And not last year, gosh, we're 2 years on, 2020. I know, it's just like being in some mad time warp, isn't it?
It's like a movie, man.
Oh, it is, seriously, watching the most bizarre movie ever on the plane of
and you just know what's going to happen. It's just awful to seeing people just fall for it. It's just like, oh.
It is, but the biggest eye opener for me was in 2020. I met David Edelman, so the people's lawyer.
Yeah.
And David, I did quite a few bits and pieces with him. And then he said to me, I've got a course you can do if you want to know about equity, privity, contract and trust law. And I was like, right, okay then. So I did this course with David to find out about all of these laws. And it blew my head to pieces, literally, because he really embedded in us that there's two different systems that run. You've got law and then you have legislation. And that all of the legislation is not law. It's not law. It's all contractual with what they call your straw man. So the corporation self, which for me is Miss Wendy Smith, not Wendy. And the stuff he took us through, it was like, we're not taught this stuff at school. And I had no idea that I've spent the whole of my adult life contracting with people to pay them money or do as I'm told, or, I had no idea whatsoever about all this stuff. And as soon as we finished the course, I mean, my head literally wanted to split apart with cognitive dissonance because of, it's just everything is contractual. So if I don't sign that document and say I don't agree to it, it actually doesn't apply to me.
That's right.
Everything that they do under legislation and acts and statutes is not law. It's all contractual.
But the problem is not many people know about that, and they're scared to do them choices, you know. It's all about being brave as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was scared when I started pulling myself out of certain bits of the system. I felt like I was doing something wrong. And it's like David kept explaining, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just a contractual obligation that you either sign into or you don't. You're quite entitled to stand away from it and go, no, thanks, I'm not interested in that.
It's like when you receive a letter through the post, it's your choice to open the letter or not. Yeah,
I mean, that whole postal system, I'm still having that one explained to me because I still can't get my head around how actually it's the Postmaster General that runs everything. It's not governments, and that still makes my head hurt, mine. I still haven't got my head around that, but it is because of all the contracts.
There's so many loops, isn't there? How they've just fiddled the system. It's absolutely crazy, really.
I mean, it is absolutely mental. But I've started questioning everything now. And it's been a really, really interesting journey, because when you start questioning things, you then get a bit of confidence around it. And
that's right. And the dots add up, don't they? The dots add up with left and your questioning as well at the same time.
They do. And it was, I'll tell you what it was that started me off. A PCN. A friend of mine got a penalty charge notice, and David had said, you can write a letter back to them, ask them a few questions, because again, it's contractual if you agree to it or not. And I was thinking, right, all right then. So we bodged together this letter. Neither of us really knew what we were doing because we'd only just learned it. Sent it off and then got a letter back saying, this time we're just going to cancel the PCN. And it was like, that's interesting. So, that works. And then we've had other experiences where it's taken 8 letters to stop a PCN. But it's like, actually, this stuff works. And then once you do something that works, you go, that's interesting. Right, what else then?
What else works? Yes.
What else is there that's going on? So that's been like my side of the journey. Have you been down that one at all? Or has yours been literally just, like you say, your spiritual,
more spiritual side of the awakening things? I haven't got into law properly yet, like full on, like yourself, I wouldn't say about all that. I would say it's more the spiritual side of things and making, my disciplined decisions on every choice I make,
So can you talk us through that a little bit? So how did that sort of unpack for you?
As in what, the spiritual side of things?
Yeah. What did you start doing? Was it that you wandered into meditation or reconnected with nature, or what was it that started that off? Because the word spiritual, for some people, they just think it's the same as religion, isn't it? So yes, some people, when they hear that word, they just go, oh, I'm staying away from that because it's all fluffy wuffy and it's all probably connected to religion in some way. But it's not, is it?
No, it's not connected to religion. No, it's more of a side you've never felt before in life. It's like I feel like I'm making the right choices now. Like since I've been spiritually awakened, I really do feel like every choice I make is the correct choice. Where before I could be making the wrong choices here and there. The spiritual side is hard to explain, but it comes from within. It comes from within. I feel like I'm a nicer person to every single person I see or speak to now. I'm more about love. I want to help. If someone's got a problem with me, I still haven't got a problem with them, kind of thing. Everything's just flipped from being the brainwashed guy that got brought up in society to now, where it's just like I feel like I've got something around me just helping me through life, kind of thing. It is weird. I mean, I do wear my tourmaline, my necklaces, my crystals. I do believe in all this. I believe in 5G, obviously being a bioweapon in conjunction with the vaccines as well. I've done my research on that, and there is proof out there that it's working in with the vaccines. That's why we're seeing many people get poorly who's took the vaccines, even people around them as well. Have you noticed that people that are not jabbed are actually getting poorly as well, a lot more?
Yeah, I have
noticed that yourself?
One of my business partners, she's a naturopath, and she's now literally sending pine needle tea, dandelion, something else. She's got 2 or 3 products because of these spike proteins that are created.
That's right.
I don't really understand. It's another one that I haven't got full knowledge on that subject at the moment, but I kept feeling rough when I was in certain environments, and she said to me, just, you know, get some of this, couple of cups of this down your neck every day. And it has been, I've been using it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And my
Well,
body,
I use iodine as well. I put iodine on my inside of my fingers here, but inside of the thumbs once a
Right.
week. It's just a little drop you put on there. That can help with 5G. Obviously, protecting yourself with tourmaline or any kind of absorbing radiation material.
yeah, because it's the EMFs. I mean, we are vibration and frequency and
That's right.
light, aren't we? So
That's right.
if you think about that, we can be affected by frequency.
Definitely.
You
I
know?
mean, I went to a protest in London one time. Near the end of the protest, it was raining. We all had an umbrella. Well, I think there was about 4 umbrellas. I had one up. I was sat there and I was thinking, what's that noise? While it was really raining down. And all I could hear was like a ringing, powerful noise, like just constant. I stopped for a minute and I asked everyone who had the umbrella if they could hear the noise. Honestly, everyone who stood there, it took them about 2 minutes, but they all said they could hear this strong noise. Anyways, we didn't think anything of it. Obviously, at the time we bought 5G, but we thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
Last week, I've just found out that 5G radiation, what it absorbs and is stronger when it rains. So when it rains and you're outside, you should be able to hear the EMF frequency through your ears if you're holding an umbrella.
Ah, so this would be why a lot of people get the ringing in their ears.
That's right.
When it's foggy or raining outside.
That's right. The moisture just absorbs it and it becomes more like, I don't know, but I've read up on it the other day and it does say it's much stronger, so you can hear it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is.
People laugh at me when I brought up 5G at the start. I couldn't believe it. You know, I lost a lot of friends because I was saying 5G is a weapon, but straight up, it really is.
Oh, it's all right. I've been called an uneducated COVID-idiot, so I'm quite happy with that. I just think that's fine. You know, I'm quite happy with that.
Obviously, if it wasn't for the vaccines, 5G wouldn't be able to do anything to us really. But with the vaccines, it's a different story. They work together. You know, the graphene oxide.
That's what I was going to say, the graphene oxide. I've been watching some interesting videos on that and the stuff that they call black goo as well.
Yeah,
very fascinating when you put
all the big celebrities are pumping it out on their music videos, you know.
Yeah,
to make people get used to this black gooey stuff.
All in plain sight. All in plain sight.
Exactly.
It always has to be. That's the law. So I just wanted to nip back just to the spirituality part of things, because some people don't realize that they actually have an onboard guidance system. So when you were saying that you make the right choices now, whereas you used to make the wrong choices, do you feel that's because you've actually tuned into the inside more, back into the heart space?
Yes. Basically, I am tuned into myself. I know what's going to be the right choice and I know what's not the right choice. Majority of the choices will fall into the choice of making a risk choice, if that makes sense. Yeah. Where before it was more of a safe choice. If you get what I'm saying, my choices are more risky now, but they pay off more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like nothing comes bad about it.
Just following the guidance. I tend to. I have
a your gut tells you. Majority of the time, your gut will tell you that your choice.
If it's right or wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody telling you any information when you ever make a decision. You know, I've met a lot of people in life where they're surrounded by people where they're making their decision for them, kind of thing. And it's like, you've got your own brain to make your own life and your own decisions in your own life, you know. But a lot of people are brainwashed by other people to make other decisions. So.
Yeah, I remember an old trainer. Well, number one, gut instinct. That's where we get the saying from. All these old sayings, they're there to teach you something, aren't they?
That's right.
I just remember an old training teacher of mine. I don't know if this is true about these particular crabs, but she told me an interesting story once, and it did make me chuckle. Sometimes we make up metaphors that don't actually happen. But she said to me, there's a type of crab in Alaska that what happens is that when people go fishing for this crab, they put, the fish in the box, they chuck the box in, the crabs all get in, and the crabs could get out as well if they wanted to. But after there's a couple of crabs in the box, if any of the crabs in the box want to get out the box, what happens is as they start climbing out, the other crabs grab them and pull them back in. And what will happen is, if that crab keeps persisting on trying to get out of the box, once it's in the box, the other crabs will actually pull it in and kill it. So it can't. And that was just a good metaphor for society. Yeah. You're not going along with the crowd. You're considered a rebel, an anarchist, something wrong with you, need to get put in an asylum.
Yeah.
Whereas all you've done is you've tuned back into your own intuition and guidance and started making your own decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
I found that quite a...
That's a good little way of, yeah, definitely. I like that.
Interesting little metaphor. Because it is, isn't it? It's like that pack group mentality. If you're not doing what the pack's doing, then you're ostracized from the pack.
Yeah.
And that,
made to look bad. And that's exactly what they're trying to do at the minute, aren't they, really?
Yeah. With the...
Whether they put the unvaccinated on lockdown is another story, but they can do whatever they like. They're not putting me on lockdown. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll be out there even more if they put us on lockdown.
Yeah, I'm hoping none of that's going to happen. It looks like the tide is turning now because people are starting to become aware. I mean, there's only so long that you can have continual array of sports people hitting the deck, all holding their...
I was just about to bring that up. The footballers dropping yet. Yeah,
last year, because we're in 22 now, aren't we? Last year, a friend of mine said, just out of curiosity, when you go and have a look at FIFA stats, like official FIFA stats for players hitting the deck with heart and chest problems.
Very rare.
Over 20 years, it averages 4.2 players per year. And last year alone, I'd got up to the count of 168 and 23 died.
Disgusting. Nothing shown on the media.
No.
Gary Neville doesn't even want to mention it either.
No, I think though it's starting to sort of unpack a little. Well, I hope it is, Martyn.
I hope it is, but there needs to be more celebrity footballers speaking out at the end of the day. I mean, there's not enough. You got that Djokovic. It's all a distraction at the end of the day with this tennis player. They're just trying to wake up the masses. He's a Freemason himself, you know.
Very probably, yeah. Just the fact that his name's Novak.
Yeah, Novak. You know, it says it all. People like laugh at me, but his name, if you can spell his name out, and it says COVID joke if you use all the letters in his name. But people don't look at symbolism.
No, symbolism is a whole different. Have you ever watched? What's his name? Mark Passio.
Mark Passio. I think I've come across one of his videos before, actually.
He's really good. He used to be a Satanist, like years and years and years ago. And then obviously he got to a certain point and thought, whoa, this really isn't where I thought this was all like fun and yay. And got to a certain point was like, this is really not what I thought this was. But he'd got quite high up in it. And so he came straight out of it. And he's literally spent the time up until now teaching people about the tenements, about what's happening, but also about universal awareness. You know, universal laws. Fascinating guy to watch.
Yeah. Anything in the news these days, I'm always looking out for the symbolism straight away. Like even in breaking events, you know, there's always a 6 involved. I'm sick of seeing the number 6, to be honest. I'm seeing it all the fucking time. It's just crazy. It is number 6.
Yeah, it's all over the space. Like you say, symbolism, and everything's inverted as well, isn't it?
Everything is just inverted. Yeah, backwards.
The moral relativity, they call it, under Satanism. It's one of the tenements, moral relativity. So man-made laws, which means that, you know, over here you get 10 years in prison for doing that, but over here you're totally allowed to do it. So it like confuses humanity.
It does.
So they don't know where they are, and you know,
that's
up
right.
and down is up, etc. So next song, We Say No, Nate. Why do you like it?
He's a UK grime artist. Pretty good. This is the grime tune that you've probably not heard before. You did say you've not heard grime?
No, UK grime. I've heard the terminology, but I've not ever listened to it really.
Well, this guy's UK grime is a good one.
All right, lovely job. If you wouldn't mind then, Django, please, a bit of We Say No this morning.
We Say No.
Well, you're fair.
Lovely job, thank you. I want to wander into your community stuff if we can now.
Yeah, we'll go to the community stuff, yeah.
Yeah, how you got into that and what you do, how it's done.
Yeah.
Have you still got loads of, are there still loads of protests going on at your end of the country?
Protests, did you say?
Yeah.
There is one in Birmingham next, but that's apart from that, I don't think there's that many more, you know, in our area.
Are they're still, because they're still running them, aren't they? Like once or twice a month. I know they're still
they are. Yeah, these ones are the what are they called then? The World Freedom Protests.
Oh, okay.
I think the next one's one where it's all over the country, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not that many, to be honest with you, but they keep them going in it. At the end of the day, they're big enough to hold, even if people like ourselves don't go there. So,
well, I've always said when it comes down to things, you know, morphogenics, because I work in brain programming and I love a bit of quantum physics and stuff like that. You know, the morphogenic field of whatever you're sending out, you're getting more of. So if we're always focused on the rubbish that they're doing over there, then we're actually going to get more of it in our environment.
that's right.
The thing is now, like you say, we're 2 years in, we know what's going on, so we're done with it now. Enough of that. Where are we going? It pretty much has to be that type of conversation now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to get everybody. I've got quite a few groups, and I get what I call the fear porn. They keep sharing like mainstream fear porn, and it's like, guys, just remember morphogenics. You know, it's like I'm like mother school teacher. Slapping
you don't want to put out the stuff that they want us to put out, because they want us to spread that.
Yeah.
You know, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
we need to move forward with, you know, how we, you know, planning ahead, as in if worst comes to worst, you know, we're ready for everything to come out of the system with, you know, food, veg, the lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? What do you want now? Like I say, with building communities, I always say to people, first start with yourself and then start local. Because if you want to do something global, if you start local and you make a change in your local environment, then that can spread around.
I mean, the whole point of it is to create a foundation and a system ready for people
40 seconds.
that have got families to come into the foundation when they're ready. No one's going to want to come out the system when it's not ready. Do you get what I'm saying? It needs to have a foundation, it running with good people, for these people to come and see what we're about and join, kind of thing.
Yeah, because otherwise, again, that's the fear. I mean, it's, you know, the old saying, isn't it? Better the devil you know.
Yeah.
Because it's the fear of coming up with something. Are we there, Django?
That's right.
Yeah. And you're live.
And welcome back to Kindasound this morning on Reality Bites with me, your host, Wendy Smith, and my guest, Martyn Vanezi.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that one.
You'll take that. Right, we got that. I was trying to do my best Italian then, even though you're half.
Yeah, you said it a bit Italian as well. You did. Yeah.
So we're getting there. So I'm wondering. We were just talking off air about, you know, community and building something, because it's not just as simple as it as like, right, we'll shut the government down, we'll shut all that down there, and then yay.
It's not as easy as that now.
It doesn't happen, does it? So what is it you are sort of working on, or your vision, or, you know, and how did you get to that space as well, Martyn?
I mean, the vision has always been doing it locally for me. I mean, ever since we started protesting, obviously we got more people with us from doing that. I think building a tribe within your local community with different skills from different backgrounds, all coming together, even if it's just for a coffee right now, and just talking, creating ideas, ready to come out of the system, is the main thing we should all be doing, really. Especially if you don't want, if you don't want the job and you're coming out of the system, because that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to have to like release from the system and have a foundation ready for when people like with families and children to come over and join us, because obviously they're not going to be ready to come now when we have nothing ready and moving. If we can start something now locally, build it, it doesn't matter how long it takes. I mean, we're moving forward with things. We've got a farm. We have someone who has a boat. We've got people collecting all sorts of things ready for whenever we have to leave, or even if we have to burn a fire, we have wood available to use for the fire. It's all coming together slowly. I mean, people have different opinions as well. That's something we're having to deal with at the minute. Everyone's got different opinions. People want to go this way. People want to go this way. But like you said, you got to accept people's beliefs and stuff like that. You can only put your vision out there. So it's not just going to happen like that. It's going to take time as things move forward with what's going on in the world right now. It will just it will just blossom itself, kind of thing, like it has already. I mean,
I think there are so many places over the plane at the moment of like existence, I call it, where people are doing this. I know, Sasha Stone's out in Mexico. I think they've just bought 49 hectares of land out there or something to do the same thing, to start creating a community out there. I know that's a long way from where we are, but obviously he comes from Bali, so, and you can't, Bali's a bit of a nightmare at the moment. So they're doing that over there. I know a friend of mine, he's bought a large bit of land down in Kent for the same
That's
reason.
what it's about.
Just
if we can get land here and there and here and there, it's easily to fill this land. People, it will be like, you'll fill it so easily with the amount of people that are going to be awake by the time that time comes. Do you know what I mean? So anyone with money buying land at the minute, it's got the right idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he just bought that because he said at some point this is going to be maybe needed for, you know, community housing, but not the housing that we've been in, you know, all lovely.
No, it won't be the same. No, it'll never be the same. But I mean, it's got to start somewhere.
Free resources on there, and like you say, building a community. I mean, I come from a family, my mum and dad, they've got a massive vegetable garden. So all year round, we've got a constant supply. I've got a small one here, but constant supply of like food off of mum and dad.
That's what it's about.
And it's just lovely to have. I mean,
it's much better for you as well when you grow it yourself and you eat it yourself. I mean, you can taste the difference. You buy the stuff from the market and you grow the stuff from the market. You have it each salad. I mean, the one you grow yourself is like 20 times better.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's
like,
about
so much better for you.
Getting back to soil management, isn't it, as well? Because
that's right. Yeah,
we've just lost all that. We've stripped with the mass farming, and we've come so far away from nature that people really are starting to lose the ability to.
That's played a big part in people not being able to waken up as well. Like they poison the foods, they poison the water. I try to explain to people about fluoride, you know, blocking the third eye. So you can't even accept these crazy reality things that happen in your life. Fluoride just kind of blocks the brain from even accepting it. You know, people don't want to know about it. People just think fluoride's just fluoride, you know, it's in the water
it's a good
for a reason.
Thing. It was when it was brought in, this is the whole thing, isn't it? If you're told it's a good thing, this is the thing about the critical thinking part of it. Have you ever actually gone and researched what fluoride?
Same with chemotherapy. When you have cancer, is it actually good for you? Is it beneficial? To me, from what I know, no, it isn't. It's going to make you worse.
Well, it strips you of your immune system, doesn't it, for a start?
Exactly. That's why they give you all these side effects straight after it. And, you know, it's just up to people to make their own choices at the end of the day. But when
it is, isn't it, really? It is about choice. But again, it comes back to, it's always down to this word, informed choice, isn't it? Coming back to making an informed choice. I mean, around here, we've got some lovely little projects, actually. I'm in a little village called Tiptree. Well, little village. I think I think it now holds a record for the biggest village in the country. But I noticed when I was walking around the woods, someone's bought a plot of land. It's only about 1/4 of an acre, and they've planted a load of fruit trees in there.
Wicked.
There's all different ones, but they've put on the gate community orchard. So someone managed it, but when the fruit's ready, anybody can go and pick.
Wow.
And I think what a lovely idea to just, you know, I mean, I remember my mum and dad still do this now, you know, mum goes and like scrumps her walnuts from places. She's going to hate me saying all this stuff, but she basically goes and steals walnuts off of other people's trees. And then like when it comes to apples and that, you know, if they see an apple tree, my mum and dad have taught us to do this as well. We're not litterers. But if I have an apple core and I'm driving around a back road, I won't take the apple core home. I'll slow down, open the window and lob it in the hedge.
Yeah.
Then, you know, you never know, you might get an apple tree out of it, but if not, the animals will eat it anyway.
Yeah.
Get these round this way. There's all these people have obviously done this, and there's the odd random apple tree. So
no way.
Always, you know, that time of year, she'll anchor up, go, Roger, stop the car, apple tree.
That's the one you planted, that is.
That's it, yeah. But it's lovely because it's like a nice free source of food, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And I just remember as kids when we used to go down the fields and that, we'd never come home because the water from the brook was clean enough, like we used to have little water sources, was clean enough to drink. There'd always be something, whether it would be blackberries or...
Yeah,
you know,
and kids love it, don't they? Kids love like planting seeds, growing vegetables or whatever. They love doing stuff like that, you know, so it's not like it's boring or anything. Kids can get involved. I mean, it's great thing to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that I'd love to see back in schools.
Oh yeah, because they don't do that enough, do they now?
No, it's funny, isn't it?
It's all on the laptop now. My daughter tells me she's 11 years old. She tells me it's the majority of the time she's always on the laptop. It's all done on it's all done on the screen, you know.
Yeah, I
The
found
screen
that.
they say is bad for our children's eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they're on it like 8 hours a day at school or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that off. I've got some friends who homeschool their children, and I absolutely love seeing it. I love watching them on.
I think that's another thing that will just blossom itself as well. Once it starts to happen, and people do start to take their children out in big numbers, the community side of things will just blossom itself, and we'll have a private kind of school for the children in your communities kind of thing, done by the people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that will happen.
I would just love to see it back to. I mean, we were taught about nature. I remember, you know, like say, Dad teaching us about all the bugs, which ones you can touch, which ones might bite you. You know, certain spiders will bite you if you're not careful with them, and all this sort of stuff. What to do, you know, it's all this. Oh, this is what I was going to say to you, actually, the knowledge that's getting lost. I was talking to someone the other day about this, about passed down knowledge. That was actually Calf Temple.
It's lost, yes, it's right.
Because we used to sit and you talk to your granddad about stuff, and granddad would go, oh, this. I remember when we used to do this. And then like if you stung yourself with a stinging nettle, I'd go home and mum would go and get a dock leaf, or dad would go and get a dock leaf and rub a dock leaf on your leg.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't
not enough information sent down as it anymore. It's it is lost completely.
We're losing it, all that tribal information that was just within your community. That's
right. I know we'll always pass our information down, you know, from what we know now, because this is a big telling time in history. I mean, when in 100 years' time they'll be talking about this, and I just want to make a big difference and try and stop this from happening if we can. I mean, I don't really want to come out of the system, but mentally I'm prepared for it. I'm just not sure about physically prepared for it, if that makes sense. But it's going to be a challenging time. I mean, they're coming for us next, really, but we'll see how it goes at the end of the day. Yeah,
I think that, like you said, though, the tide is turning the other way now. People are becoming aware.
Definitely the tide's turning. Yeah, it's definitely turning.
Seeing so many articles now based around medical bodies that are now saying you should stop this injection for health workers. You know, now that the fact is so many health workers have left, the health service is now seriously struggling, not because of an overrun of ill people,
because it can't run.
There's no one in there to run it, because there's so many people that are like, no, I'm not doing that, you know, that have worked all the way through this, and they just don't want to affect their own health.
Isn't there a 4th booster now as well?
Yes, I think there is. I mean, this was something someone said to me, and this put this into perspective around a subscription service. I think I've mentioned this before on here. They said to me, what happened do you remember when Bill Gates brought out Microsoft? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually old enough to remember that. And they said, so what happens with Microsoft every year? What's something you have to do? I go, we have to, you know, renew your license, and it costs you money and that. And he said, what happens if you don't resubscribe every year? I said, well, then your virusware runs out and you've got the possibility of getting a virus on your computer. And he said, who do you think created the viruses? And I was like, well, probably the people who created Microsoft, because it's a really good business model, isn't it? Yeah. Really good business model. Buy our product, subscribe to our product, otherwise your laptop's going to get ill and it's going to cost you money.
Exactly, yeah.
And he said, now look at what's happening now. He said, the pharmaceutical model is not there to make you well. They only make money out of you being ill. He said, so the current process that's come into play is, you know, variant fear, subscription to booster, variant fear, subscription to booster. So
and then health issues straight after that, more bloody medication.
That's it. So that leads to to keeping the pharmaceutical model going.
Exactly. Like they must be rubbing their hands right now after so many people are vaccinated, thinking, oh, all these injuries, we're going to get so much more bloody.
Yeah, oh, it's horrible. It's horrible to think, isn't it? It really is horrible to think, but it's maybe something people need to think about, that they're in a mass subscription service now.
Yeah, I mean, my bloody milk in my fridge lasts longer than their booster.
Yeah. Oh, they shouldn't laugh.
Mad.
But yeah, so and with any subscription service, all you have to think about, it's a subscription service. So at some point, all you need to do is cancel your subscription.
Yes. And ignore everything that comes your way. Simple.
That's it. Yeah, just I'm not saying turn a blind eye, but literally just no, we're done now.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Completely.
for you in life now then, whereabouts are you going? What are your plans for the future?
Plan is just keep community building, carry on with exactly what we're doing. I am going to be doing a music video this year to my song, so I do need to attend a protest at some point. So I do want to get a clip of the video while we're at a protest in the music video. You see, apart from that, growing my own veg in February. Going to clear out the back garden. I'm going to get a lot of veg going. Keep collecting my wood. Keep building the team around us. People go on about numbers as well. I mean, sometimes too many people involved straight away can cause a problem. So to me, it's all just going to happen naturally. I'm not going to push for it. I'm not going to go into my group and say, oh, we need numbers. We need people to attend this. I'm more of a things will happen as they will. As long as my vision's there and I'm putting things down, it'll just happen.
And if people want to get hold of you in Telford, because you're up in Telford, you're up the other end of the country to me. How can people contact you now? What's the easiest way? Because obviously you're not on Twat.
Well, Facebook, I've got 2 days left until I'm unbanned.
Right.
So you can contact me via Facebook. I can return messages. I'm also on Instagram as Vanezi King. Don't use Instagram that much, to be honest with you. I only went on there because obviously I didn't have Facebook and I just thought, I'll just create an account kind of thing. But it won't be long until we're all knocked off Facebook soon anyway. So everyone does need to come away from social media eventually and try and get, even cell phones, even the walkie-talkies, the 20-mile radius ones. I mean, we were already talking about getting the walkie-talkies in our area.
Funny, isn't it? For the I call this the Armageddon supplies.
Because they're all analog RAN, so it's under the system. No one can hear the conversations. It's all secretive.
Yeah, it's that anyone listening, we're not really preparing for the end of the world. We're just preparing to transition into a new way of being, and hopefully the new way of being is going to be a lot better than where.
Because if you're not mentally prepared for all this, and this hits you like that, it's gonna make you fold, isn't it? It's gonna make
you're gonna have serious mental.
30 seconds.
Right. So, well, thank you very much, Martyn, for joining me today. We're actually going out. Lovely listeners, thank you guys for joining us on Kindasound as well. You can like and follow us all over the place, apart from on Facebook, actually, that has us banned. So we're going to play out with Martyn's song this morning. So literally, Martyn, I'm going to leave this over to you now. So
okay,
however you want to do this, away you go.
Right, Martyn Luke King. If you want to check it out, go on YouTube. It's called Martyn Luke King. Take Your Freedom Back. We just connect the Bluetooth, guys. Hold on, I'll be 2 seconds.
Bluetooth. Take your freedom back. 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 You like up the side of energy. Come through the teaching melody. I'll stop me where I rhyme. I like up for the darkest night. You won't find me wasting time. I don't make them waste my mind. You choose your justify. You lose and take some time. I know when I was still outside. In and out of women, that was all I could find. Really came when it didn't change. Losing the lies in things like a prison. Yo. Yeah, a lot of the people here. Yeah, I think the whole business here. Speaking to what the people here. Sure, they want the people's this. Yeah, I'm not what the system breaks. Yeah, I make the whole system break. Hard to make the system break. I'm so alive, I'm doing it. I'm putting that on the guy like you. Don't be scared when the guy's on board. I'll be the guy who sprays his door. Some them man that's never inside. Always got champagne in the rain, but then DNA is never in mind. I'm just on for 7 5. My whole body don't touch nobody. 6 feet and a young in my whole body. Jack shit with one joy nobody. Push me good thing, you'll get the skin shown. Yo, truth be told, Listen. Everyone's scared to find some sort of job like release. Yo, indoctrination of the population. Real people population. With generations going crazy, not get crazy. The ice is out and I'm out of it. Keep the fires early together arise. Listen up on your wings. We see you, but you won't win. What do you think? How do you think? With that info and the last win. Do it my thing, do it my thing. Sometimes it's always like you're your swing. Take my flow, then away, no delay. Break your altar, summer and spring. Sing, sing. What's the life of this spring? Everything's got no grip. It's not a thing, but there's a win. Start going back to the lyrical. 666 from straight up. Mark for the beats, now we don't trust. There's something that's too out of us. You want to take it too, then you got to trust. There's not reject it, hard to accept it. That's okay, as long as you're keep talking. Shit. Woo!
Nice one, Martyn. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we'll have to put the original version of that when we bung it on the podcast.
Oh yeah, when that gets banged on, that'll be very good. I can't actually wait for that, to be honest, when it's all like all put into one. It's gonna be great.
Perfect. Managed to squeeze that in and you finished just before we went off air.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Wicked.
Yeah, which is lovely.
But yeah, please send me the original file as well. And your video recording, Wendy, so we can stitch it together.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll put that in so that one sounds nice.
Brilliant. Yeah. Nice speaking with you guys.
Oh, and you, this will come out on podcast. Django will send you links via email on Thursday this week. So it goes out on loads of different podcasts and that. But if you can bung Django over a link to the original of that, so you can, like say, pull it off and stitch it in. And definitely. That'll be all good. Lovely. Good. Martyn, nice one. Thanks for joining us.
Nice one, Wendy. See you later, guys.
Take care. Bye for now.
Cheers. Yeah, and if you can send me your video as well, please, Wendy.
Yeah, I'll save this one